So, the name of the subject is distributed operating system. So, first of all, we know why it is called distributed, and then we have to know what are the main features of distributed operating system. See, the concept of distributed operating system is nothing but one minute. The concept of distributed operating system is nothing but it is a collection of some autonomous node or some autonomous system or some autonomous computer which has its own memory, and each and every node has its own processor also, but they are connected via a network, and it is equipped with one distributed operating system. Again, I am repeating, the concept of distributed operating system is it is a collection of n number of nodes which has its own memory, its own processor. That is why each and every node is independent in nature, but they are connected via a single network, and all machines are equipped with a distributed operating system. See the pictorial diagram of distributed computing. See, there are 5 nodes or 5 computers, and each and every computer has its own processor, has its own memory, etc. etc. But they are connected via one communication network, and the whole process is equipped with one distributed software or distributed system. So the main function of this distributed system is it controls the whole phenomenon. Means it controls the main task of all 5 nodes. Main task means it can control the scheduling process, it can control the system calls, it can control the critical section, etc. etc. All things are controlled by this distributed operating system. So here you can see distributed system software enable computer to coordinate their activities to share resources of system hardware, software and data. So it is the another pictorial representation of distributed operating system. So, so it is the another pictorial representation of distributed operating system. Here you can see that this is machine number A, machine number B and machine number C, and these 3 machines are independent in nature. This machine has its own local software, own local hardware. This machine These machines also has its own local software and local hardware, and these machines also the same thing. But the main functionality is these 3 machines are connected via a network, and they are equipped with one distributed application or one distributed operating system. So that is the main concept of DS. Then what are the characteristics of this distributed operating system? So first characteristics is resource sharing. What is the meaning of that? In distributed operating system, n number of systems are connected via a single network. That is why each and every process or each and every computer system can share their hardware, can share their system software, or can share their special data also. So this type of facility is provided by distributed operating system, which is called resource sharing. Second type of characteristics is openness of the system. Openness means each and everything is open to all. Means when I perform some task in my computer, the result of this task is open to all. All means another computer which is located to another network can access my performance. So this type of openness characteristics is provided by distributed operating system. The third type of characteristics says it has excellent fault tolerance capacity. Means it improves the reliability of the system. What is the meaning of that? If we input wrong logic, then system will perform wrong thing. If we input right logic, then system will perform right thing. That is the meaning of reliability of the system. And by using distributed operating system, this fault tolerance capacity will improve. And it also improves the scalability of the system. And obviously the number 5 point says it provides the transparency. Transparency means it reduces the complexity of operating system and it is very user friendly. So these are the 5 characteristics of distributed operating system. First one is resource sharing, then openness means everything is open to all, then it's improves the fault tolerance means it improves the reliability of the system and it's also improves the scalability and transparency. Now where we use this type of distributed operating system, you know that distributed operating system is very much popular nowadays and its application is huge. So first application of distributed operating system is finance and commerce sector, like Amazon online banking system. This type of application software nowadays using distributed operating system. Second application is information society, means every type of search engines like Google, Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, this type of search engines, and also all social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, etc. etc. So this type of search engine and social networking sites are also using this distributed operating system nowadays because this is very user friendly. Now the third application is on online gaming and YouTube. So every type of online gaming like PUBG, etc. etc. So of gaming software and also YouTube, that is environmental site, entertainment site, which is using this distributed operating system. And also its huge application on healthcare system like medical clinic, medical hospital, and also the government hospitals also nowadays using this distributed operating system. And the fifth application of distributed operating system is e-learning. So these are the application of distributed operating system. Now we will see one example of distributed operating system. See that example very carefully.
So we can't see your screen.
So we know that one application of distributed operating system is it's broadly used in banking website or all banking site, multinational banking sites are nowadays using distributed operating system. So this is the overall structure of distributed operating system in multinational bank. See, this is the operating system structure of one nationalized bank and it has multiple branches. So this is a teller machine. Teller machine means nothing but
Sir,
hello.
सर आप विंडो शेयर किए हैं क्या सर अपना?
Oh, now you can see.
Yes sir.
Okay, so this is the structure of distributed operating system one nationalized bank. Say this is the example of one nationalized bank and it has multiple branches. So this is branch A, sorry, this is branch 2 and say this is branch number 1 and this is the local branch memory and it is the local branch memory of branch number 1. This is a teller machine. Teller machine means which is the central controller which holds the distributed operating system and it is the another teller machine which is situated in branch number 1 and it is situated in branch number 2. Now each and every branch has its own backup process. It is a backup process which holds every backup data of branch number 1 and it is the backup process which holds the every backup data of this branch, that is branch number 1, it is branch number 2. See, these two processors are connected via a single network which is called LAN, local area network, and it is associated with one teller machine. Teller machine nothing but which holds the distributed operating system. And this teller machine is associated with branch number 1 also and this teller machine is also associated with branch number 2 also. And these teller machines also perform the same things. It is associated with 1 and it is also associated with 2. So by this way, every branches can share their resources to each other. And this is called the fault tolerance capacity. Means if some data may lose, then it can recover. Because after performing every transaction, the data will store over here. It is called the backup process, which is used in fault tolerance. And it is the backup system of this branch. See, so this is the architectural model of distributed operating system of multinational bank. Now, what are the requirements of distributed operating system? Why you use this type of model? First reason is it provides us the security and reliability. Every data which we pass or which we distribute among them is very much secure because it uses the encryption decryption policy. When two or more process share resources among them, it always use the encryption decryption policy. So it improves the security and reliability of message passing. The second requirement is it provides the consistency of replicate data. The transaction between n number of process is very much concurrent in nature, and obviously it provides us the fault tolerance capacity. Means if someone hack my data or if my central controller is waiting. So if someone hack my data or my central controller system may lose any data, then it can take those type of data from its backup process. So it always gives us the fault tolerance capacity. Now the architecture of distributed operating system. See, the architecture of DS is categorized into two categories. First one is shared memory architecture and second one is called distributed memory architecture. So our focus is on only distributed memory architecture because only this type of architecture is useful in distributed operating system. Shared memory architecture is not applicable in distributed operating system. So let me tell you what is the concept of shared memory and distributed memory. See, this is the pictorial representation of shared memory architecture. Here you can see there are four nodes or four computer which has a single memory or shared memory. Means these four nodes is connected via a single network, but the property of this architecture is they have only a single memory. That is why this type of architecture is not very much useful. Why it is not very much useful? Because we have to use this type of architecture only a single network. If I want to access some data which is located in another network, then this type of architecture is not useful. That is why the application of shared memory architecture is very limited. And the another name of this type of architecture is called tightly coupled system. Tightly coupled means they are bounded with a single memory. Now you can see this is the architecture of distributed memory system. In distributed memory system, each and every node or each and every system are independent in nature, and each and every node has its own memory and its own processor. Here you can see there are 3 nodes and each and every node has its own memory and own CPU. But they are connected with a interconnected network. It may be LAN, it may be WAN, etc., etc., and they are associated with one distributed application software. So another name of this type of system is called loosely coupled system. Why it is called loosely? Because each and every node has its own memory and its own processor. But in shared memory, each and every node is connected via a single network, but they have to share their single memory. So that is the concept of loosely coupled and tightly coupled system. Now, the last topic of discussion is what are the advantages of distributed operating system? Which type of advantages it provides us? Obviously, the first advantage of distributed operating system is nothing but resource sharing. Each and every process can share their resources, means can share their special hardware, software, critical section, etc., etc. So this is the huge facility which is provided by distributed operating system. And another huge advantage of distributed operating system is two or more processes can share their resources when they are located in completely different network. Means one process which is running in Durgapur area network and another process which is running on Kolkata area network, then they can also share their resources. So this facility is provided by distributed operating system. So here if they are geographically distributed, then they can also share their resources. And obviously number 3, it provides us the better flexibility, and number 4 is it provides us the better pricing system also. The cost of this type of operating system is not very much, and it also provides us a higher reliability of the system, and the speed of this type of system is very much high. It has short response time and higher throughput. So these are the 6 advantages of distributed operating. So that is the end of our today's class. So let me conclude what we have discussed today. So at first we have discussed about the concept of distributed operating system. The concept of distributed operating system is nothing but 2 or n number of nodes which are independent in nature is bounded with a single communication link or communication network and equipped with one distributed operating system. That is the concept of distributed computing. And second things, we have also seen that one pictorial representation of distributed operating system. Secondly, we have already discussed the 5 characteristics of distributed operating system and what are the applications in which area nowadays we using this distributed operating system. Now, we have seen one multinational bank architecture which supports distributed operating system. Then we have discussed the requirement of DS, why we use this type of technology. Then we have already discussed what are the difference between normal system and distributed system? Means what are the difference between tightly coupled and loosely coupled system? Tightly coupled system means n number of process has its single memory, but in distributed system each and every node has its own processor, has its own memory. That is the main difference. And lastly, we have discussed the 6 advantages of